sanitary supply, traffic, discussion, cultural partnership,
Every year on the 28th of May, the world commemorates the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. It's a day set aside to draw awareness to the menstrual health and hygiene of the women folk in the society. Today we shall be looking at the theme for this year, the message, and what it entails, what can be done to improve the menstrual hygiene and health of women in the Nigerian society. Welcome to Dateline here on Housing TV Africa, your one-stop station for news and updates in the society and in the housing sector as a whole. My name is Dorcas Chia, and we will be right back.
Are you getting ready for another big one? The largest housing show in Africa. 2 decades of relentless exhibition and conference. The 20th edition of the Africa International Housing Show, happening from the 13th to 18th of July 2026 at the prestigious Transco Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. This premier event is Africa's largest housing and construction expo, attracting over 50,000 attendees in Africa and beyond, thereby giving room for developers, construction giants, financiers, home interiors, mortgage and microfinance banks, drawing from about 21 different countries of the world. Get ready to be part of history.
You're watching Dateline on Housing TV Africa, and this is the program where we bring to you news highlights and also societal issues. Today, we are not taking news highlights, like I said earlier. We're going to be looking at a very important issue that is very critical in the society. We're going to be talking about the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. This is something that affects every woman, every girl child in the society. And we are going to be looking at the theme for this year, which is Together for a Period-Friendly World. To throw more insights on this particular topic and enlighten us on what this celebration entails is Lois Amili. She is a humanitarian and let's say a girl child advocate on her own. It's good to have you in the studio, Lois.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for always coming on the program anytime we call. We're really grateful.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So let's just go straight to the point. We every year in the month of May, towards the end, we celebrate the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. It's kind of a pink month for the girl child and even for women or the females in the society. And every year there are different themes, there are different aspects we look at. And this year on its own talks about Together for a Period-Friendly World. And one would think, what exactly are we looking at this particular year? What does this theme aim to achieve? What is the objective, the goal, and everything? So in your own understanding, what do you think the message is for this particular year?
Okay, so basically, it's exciting to be here, and I'm happy that Housing TV has invited me to have this conversation because it's a month where we create awareness about menstrual hygiene, and the theme is Together for a Period-Friendly World. Looking at the date, 28th of May, it's not just a date that came out of the blues, right? 28th is the period flow month, and for the month, right?
Yes.
And then 5th of May, 5th, like
5 days.
5 days, yeah. So it's a symbolic, choice for that date. And when we say a period-friendly world, we're looking at a world where when we're talking about menstruation, nobody is saying, what's she talking about? Oh no, don't talk about it. We're talking about a world where menstruation is spoken about and we can say it is normal, right? Everybody is aware about it. We have adequate information. We have good sanitary facilities. We have affordable products. When we talk about it, everybody is saying, oh, okay, yeah, we're talking about it as if, we're talking about somebody taking a bath. right? So that's what we're talking about. When we say it's a period-friendly word, we all understand it. The both genders understand it, and even the women themselves understand it, because sometimes when we talk about this, we think that it's the male that says, oh, that X me, don't talk about menstruation. But even some of the women are the ones that are driving the cultural,
changing the cultural norm.
Actually, that cultural norm that is, that is stigmatizing women, even when it comes to menstruation.
So you're trying to say that because like you said, it's a menstrual hygiene is a very sensitive topic, and has always been a sensitive topic. When people talk about it over the years, even when you're on your period, you don't want anybody to know. You treat everything. You don't want the opposite gender. It's like a secret.
And even that time, you feel isolated. You will just be quiet. You will just be like, oh no. Even when I'm on my period, let me not talk to anybody.
If you're not feeling well, you're having the cramps, the guy just asks you, are you okay? I'm fine,
okay. You pretend.
Yes, but do you think, that is how it has been over the years. But now, do you think we are still in that era where, we are shy about this particular topic right now, or where women are now more open to speak about it? They are not ashamed of it anymore.
So I would not say we've gotten to that particular point yet, because we still have religious gatherings where if women are on their period, they ask them not to go into the church. You see husbands tell their wives, don't cook for me this period. We still have communities where some of these things are happening, and that's why I'm grateful to television stations like yours, where we can create awareness on some of these things, and we make people understand that menstruation is part of life, right? It's part of. So if a woman does not menstruate, then she would not have children. A lot of people are excited about children when they come, but they are not excited about menstruation. So menstruation is just a part of her.
There's nothing to be excited about.
when it comes to what?
When actually it's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing. So
but
if it doesn't happen,
then the experience it comes with.
Oh, the pain and everything.
Yeah.
So menstruation is not a punishment. It's not something that though it comes with pain and it comes with the difficulty, but it's part of our body system. It's part of life. Right?
Yeah.
And it's something that we all, as a woman must go through, so that, that follows a procedure. If you don't menstruate, how do you count your menstrual cycle? How do you, right? So it's part of a cycle, it's part of life. So we should all see it as normal and all of that. I want us to get to a stage where we have men that understand cycle. They know the luteal phase, they know the menstrual phase, they know all of these phases, and they're able to relate, and they're able to say, oh, okay, I know that you're on your period. Is there anything that I can help you to do?
Okay, I was going to come to that. I was having a discussion with a colleague that over some days back, and we were just talking about the fact that organizations or even the workforce should put it into their system that when a woman is on her period, she should not come to work. She should be given a feel, because during that period with the whole experience and everything, women are at that moment you may not feel productive, and there's a lot of things going on. And yes, in Nigeria we don't have that. Maybe just a few organizations that do that are very considerate, but we don't have that. But do you think it's something that should be actually looked into?
Okay, in some countries, they actually give breaks to women when they are going through their menstrual cramps. But I would say that in a country like Nigeria, where we struggle with structure, that would be a very huge thing to say we want to start advocating for. See, our reserve bill is still by the corner, and we're expecting that. So, but it's something that we really need to look into, because a lot of women go through a lot during their menstruation. I remember somebody telling me about how during her menstruation, she can't sit, she can't eat, she can't stand, she can't do anything. She's throwing up, she's on admission in the hospital, and a lot of things are going on.
Yeah.
And when she gets back to work, the boss is telling her, you didn't come to work for so and so days. So
but they don't understand.
Your salary will be cut for those days that you're not around. And that is an issue, right? Yeah. But when we have like a proper communication channel, and that's very important, where you have a good HR in organizations, right? And if the HR is actually considerate to your needs and understand that, oh, these things happen, and then how do we
help you, or how do we assist you, you know, as an office? And I think that understanding would help a lot of women, and it will help us to be productive, right? Because if we're not productive, then the work does not go on.
Yes.
If we just submit anything and that we, you know, it doesn't work like that. So if we have understanding, we have communication, we have a proper communication channel, not HRs, because I've seen and I've heard of HRs when you go to work and you hear them saying, "Hey, that's not my business." Even me, I used to be on my period and I used to come to work.
We have it's the women that are always doing this.
That stereotype, and that's the issue, because my body and your body is different.
It's different.
What
yes.
happens to me during my period? In fact,
it might not be the same thing with yours.
Apart from that, during my periods, this month, what happened to me? I would eat, I would be okay, I would do everything I need to do. Next period,
the next month,
oh my God,
you see a change in.
It's a different thing entirely. So you can now imagine you comparing yourself to me. Even when me myself, the periods sometimes are not the same. I don't feel the same on, you know, periods when they come, different months, right? So I want us to also understand that these things happen, and I think that the understanding of this would help each and every one of us get considerate to every woman, and not just for the women, talking about the men as well, right? They can now understand that, oh, okay, so this happens, how do we help you, right? So I think this awareness is very important. Key.
Yes, and just talking about it also made me to understand that it's not only the offices that should be aware, even the schools, because I remember then back in school I had a colleague there was even a time she had to miss an exam. We had to go beg the lecturer so that she could be able to write the exam later, that particular paper, because she was on her period, and then when she's on her period she would throw up, she will be admitted in the hospital, she can't do anything and all that. So, you know, even schools also should do something about it. I feel there should be a structure and in the schools, in the educational system, that helps the students, because this is something that every month someone must experience.
Aside from that, I think that sanitary facilities is very important when it comes to schools, because if I have a good sanitary facility in the school, what's there? If I take my period, I put my pads, I put them in my bag, I take them to school. When it's time for me to change, I'll just quickly go to my bag, go to the toilets are beautiful, they are okay. I'll just go to the toilet, quickly clean up, you know, change my pad.
And some schools we don't have that.
Apart from that, some schools do not even have private toilet for boys and girls. So boys and girls go to the same toilet. So how do we, you know, start looking into that? Apart from that, do those schools, do they have clean water? Because that's another thing. If you have a place where you can change, do we have clean water? Because before you change your pad and after you change your pad, you're supposed to wash your hands, right? There are hygiene practices that you're supposed to carry out. If you don't have those clean facilities to help you to go to school, then you see that a lot of girls will not go to school.
They'll rather stay at home.
They'll rather stay at home.
Yeah, I remember that time in secondary school. I had to take. I was a boarding student.
Yeah.
I went to class that day. I was not feeling myself. It was really that bad.
Yeah.
I had to take excuse and go and stay in the sick bay for the whole day
before you could get yourself together. And that's because your school had a sick bill.
Yes, I had to stay in the school clinic for the whole day. I was not able to attend classes. So these are the things that need to... Imagine if the school didn't have a sick bay, or they were not considerate about such things. What would have happened? I'll just have to stay in class.
In some schools, people don't even have sick bills. They don't even have proper medications to even say, oh, can I give you paracetamol or something that you can take to aid the pain? Some people will even be saying that... My mother used to menstruate too. Don't tell me what I don't know. That stereotype is still out there. That stigma that they give to girls, or even women, they are still out there. So I think that we need to demystify some of those myths around menstrual hygiene and menstruation as a whole, human dignity. The fact that, it's something that we need to really look into as a whole, and then from there, we can move on.
Okay. All right. So right now, I just want us to take a quick look at what individuals have to say concerning this issue, because we went out to sample the opinions of Nigerians and what they know about menstrual hygiene, how it can be, how the awareness, how aware they are about the issues and the structure surrounding it. So when we come back, we'll talk more on the health aspects of this particular topic. So do stay with us.
To my own opinion, I think it differs based on body system. You understand? Let me use mine as an example. If my menstruation is coming up, at times it comes with so much pain, abnormal pain, you understand? And that pain at times lasts for 2 days. So after 2 days, I won't feel the pain anymore. And I have a sister which her own she will feel the pain until the end of her days for the menstruation. So it depends on body system.
I think most of the challenges they face, especially young girls nowadays, they face stigma from maybe colleagues, their fellow girls, their fellow boys. Some they even face is shame. Just imagine you're walking on the roads now, maybe you didn't know it, you are expecting it, the thing just come all of a sudden. It brings shame. And it shouldn't be so.
And it's not easy. I'll not lie, it's not easy for women that cannot maybe take care of themselves very well. You know, some people they don't have money like that, take care of themselves. And then from where they are from, their background, maybe nobody to help them, no advice. And then even in school self, at least school's supposed to be helping, especially women, stuff like that. So though it's not easy anywhere, but I think government too needs to do something about it, at least even if it's getting some things free for them.
I think we should start from the teenagers, from the young ones. We should start giving them the important awareness on how to take care of their body properly during the menstruation, because it's very, very important as a woman when you are menstruating to take care of your body. Because if you didn't take care of your body, even you yourself, you will not be comfortable, you will not be free, you won't be uncomfortable. So the earlier we teach our young ones the importance on taking care of their menstruation, I think it will help them health-wise.
I think one of the solutions to maintain it, maybe to solve menstrual stigmatization, I think maybe government can get a part. Maybe go to schools, give it to students on the street, see girls, women, you share it to them. It will really help them.
Welcome back. Glad to know you are still watching Dateline here on Housing TV Africa, and the topic is Together for a Period-Friendly World. We are discussing the World Menstrual Hygiene Day, and it has been a very interesting and insightful conversation with Lois and Millie here in the studio. Thank you so much for the conversation so far. Yeah, I'll have to say that for me as a person, I'm learning more, because we know. Before we went to the break, I said we were going to, talk about the health aspect, and we've heard what people have to say concerning this particular issue. So it's been said that menstrual health is still considered a major public health and social issue in many developing countries, and one would look at this and say why, especially in Nigeria, why is it still being considered something of concern when it's not supposed to be so?
Okay, so it's a thing of concern, because if proper facilities are not provided, affordable products, menstrual products are not available. Even the availability of the product in some communities, and a structured wash facility in some of these schools, communities, and workplaces, if they are not there, then there are a lot of issues that will be happening. And number one challenge that I think that would happen is infection, because we see a lot of women today suffering from infection. And somebody was telling me the other day that a woman had infection from the menstrual products that she was using. I mean, she was using things like rags and all of that. And at the end of the day, that affected her when it was time for her to, have children. She had a long period of waiting till she found out that, it was infection that caused the issue, and then she was now able to rectify the issue, and then all of that. So it's still a public health issue when we don't have some of these facilities. If I can't wash my hands properly, I can't take care of those products that I have, and there are infections, there are a lot of issues here and there, hygiene issues, so it's a thing of public health concern.
Okay, we've talked more on awareness and public public health of concern. I want us now to come to how we as women, you know, take care of ourselves during this period. Because yes, we've been menstrual hygiene and menstrual health is something that have been going on for a long time. Mothers are, you know, telling their daughters about it, but the right information is not being passed, and there are lots of issues and misconceptions surrounding this. Right now, I want us to talk about taking drugs during menstruation. We've had different opinions when it comes to a lady taking drugs during her period and when she has cramps. You know, there are some people that will say, oh, it's not good for you as a lady when you're having cramps to take those drugs. Yes, it has a side effect on you. Why don't you just and take the pain and everything? For different people, I know of a friend, for her, if she takes drugs during her period, you know, it triples what she's going on. The lady has a heavy flow. It triples what she's going on, the pain, the flow, and everything. So everybody is experiencing it, but those drugs actually help to, you know, reduce the pain. But there are warnings behind them. There are cautions. They are like, doctors will tell you it's not, some people will tell you it's not so good. You take it, it's going to be actually difficult for you when it comes to childbirth and everything. And also, I want you to talk on how much, you know, young ladies, especially teenage girls, how aware are they when it comes to knowledge on their circle, how to use a pad and everything? Is the awareness out there? Are the ladies so much aware? Are the mothers doing their job? Are sisters and aunties doing the job that is supposed to be done?
Okay, so I think that's two questions in one. So I will start from the first question where you spoke about what you said something about the first question.
The drugs.
The drugs. So I would say don't take drugs without doctor's prescription, because a lot of things are out there now, and if we don't get to understand what those things are, you take the wrong drugs, and that's why you feel like, oh, the period is coming more, or the pain has increased, or something like that. We see that the world is changing. Last year, nobody knew that PCOS will become PMOS, right? So nobody knew that. And again, a lot of things are evolving, a lot of change is happening, and people are going into research. People are trying to get knowledge about what's happening. So if you don't go to a doctor or a gynecologist, and you go to any chemist, should I say chemist? Because chemist is the one that is not professional. How do we say? And then you just go and get any drug, or somebody say, oh, during my period I use this drug, you can use it, and then you go and take it. Remember that we say that different things happen for everybody, right? Different things. So it's important that you go to the doctor, get a prescription that works for you. Tell the doctor what your symptoms are. Your symptoms are probably different from the symptoms of your friend. Your period, you are probably maybe having irregular menstruation or one hormonal issue or the other. The doctor will even say, can we have an ultrasound? The doctor will talk to you about what's happening in your uterus, your endometrium, you know, everything that is going on in your body, and then you can get proper medication. But when you don't get proper medication and you just take whatever is available, then your body begins to act in a certain way, and you're wondering what's happening. So I think that proper information, proper medication, see your doctor, very important. As Nigerians, we don't like to go to the doctor. We just like to get whatever medicine that is available, and you just feel like, let me just take this one. Oh, is it this one that will reduce the pain? Let me first take that one before I go to the hospital. But it's important that you get to the hospital and get proper check so that you can get the right medication. Now, talking about girls, getting proper hygiene, right?
No, knowing more about their circle, how to use the pad, the basic information.
Okay. I would say that a lot of nowadays, because of NGOs, Good Tide Philippine Missions Foundation, in partnership with FemPower, we went to a government school during the Menstrual Hygiene Day. We went to do sensitization, distribute pads, and all of that. But that is still not enough, because how many of us are doing this? And like I always say, it's not about you going through an organization like an NGO or the government doing it. What are you doing as an individual to help girls out there, right? As an individual, you can go to schools, you can talk to them about their menstrual health. Some schools will say, oh, people have come for menstrual health, this and that. But what I will come and tell you is different from what
that person has come to say.
So I read human anatomy, so I have an understanding about my medical field, the structures of the body and what goes on in the body, right? So when I'm talking to you about your uterus, your fallopian tube, you know, everything, right? You completely understand. I give you a picture, you get it, right? I'll show you the human reproductive system. I show you the structures. You're like, oh, I can relate. Oh, this is what it is. But sometimes in schools, they just tell you female reproductive system. They don't fully explain what it is to you. So I feel that NGOs, government facilities, all of us, let's come out and do this sensitization, because sometimes I'm in Abuja, sometimes I travel to other states for awareness. But how many can organizations like my organization, your organization do? Can we go to those organizations by ourselves and do the sensitization? If you know what it means in your own community and you're in a grassroots community where people don't have the understanding, because there's some communities where I heard that the girl would dig a hole and sit inside for the time being of the menstruation.
What I even heard was it was what was in vogue then, before the invention of pads, or even when people learned how to use.
You'll be shocked that it's still happening.
Wow.
You'll be shocked that I went to some communities the other day, and I'm like, this one is in Abuja here. They don't even have network.
That means the development has not reached some areas
exactly
yet.
So information has not even gotten round, and you can imagine a community where they don't have network. They don't, even if you speak on, okay, maybe radio gets there, but even if you speak on TV, they probably will not, because electricity is also an issue. So how do they get some of this information? Is if we as individuals, you know, take some time to also go into communities. We don't just stay in the town, the city centers, because there are some schools that have full understanding about what menstrual hygiene is. But people keep trooping into those schools because they feel that they are accessible. So can we also go to those communities? I know security can be an issue these days, and that's why a lot of organizations shy away from going to those communities. But I would also say that it's important that we go to those organizations. So if you have people that can sponsor you, that can aid you with security personnel and whatever you need, please go to those communities. Let's create the awareness. Let's make them understand, because a lot of them are living in the myth of that. Why would you tell me not to go to church or not to go to mosque because I'm on my period, right? I don't know how it works with the Islamic religion, but I understand for the Christian religion, because you say I'm unclean because I'm on my period.
Even then in the Catholic Church itself, you would hear some people say you can't take the communion because you're unclean.
Oh, that's also a myth, because you know, you're a child of God, right? The menstruation is God. The structure of the body and how it will function was made by God. So it shouldn't stop you from, you know, taking the body and the blood of Jesus, right? So that that is still a myth, because it's a religious practice that also goes on. Some you can't even go into the church. Some you can't even pray during that period. All of those things are myths, right? Let's begin to just address these issues. You, as a woman, you can do whatever you want. You can pray. You can eat. You can do whatever you want, right? And just feel free. And that's what we're saying. Together for a period-friendly world. So when you're on your period, we're supposed to be having fun.
Even though they live normal. Even though there's pain.
Even though there's pain.
But we'll try. We'll try. So two more questions before I let you go. Still on how to take care of yourself during the month. Maybe you could, because you just mentioned you have a background in the medical sector. You could just give tips on the kind of food ladies should eat that will help to boost their reproductive health, especially when they're on their period. Then also, one last thing, when we celebrate when we commemorate the World Menstrual Hygiene Day every year, we're always speaking to the girl child, the females and everything. But what about sensitizing the boy child, the men in the society? Because they are the ones living with us here. You may be somewhere and the only person that can help you is a guy. What if he doesn't have the knowledge of these things on what's supposed to be done? Because a lot of sensitization is being given to the ladies, the women, but that's to the male, because they are part of the society. Especially, let's even take for your husband. If you get married, a husband, you'll be living with that person. He needs to know what is going on and how to be the best. Take care of you during that period. But most times we see some of these guys, some of these men, they are not even aware of what goes on. That's it. And
they underestimate what happens to you.
Let's even leave the underestimate, but some of them are left clueless. They don't know what's going on, and they don't know how best to help. So in all defense, we can't blame them totally or make it look like they are not being caring or nice enough.
So going back to your first question, talking about menstrual hygiene and what to do, I feel that the first thing to do during menstruation is personal health, right? And personal hygiene. That's what I wanted to say. Personal hygiene. The fact that you have to be extremely clean, right? You're taking your bath, washing your hands at intervals, using perfumes, right? You know, don't just use your perfumes, use body mist, right?
But
take care of your body.
They said for the perfumes, it's not all perfumes you use.
No, I think for the perfumes, some people say even some of the smell gives you pain and all of that. So that's why I would say do what works for you. So some people, they say they take lots of sugar during their period and it works for them. Some people, they say they take this during their period and it works for them. So I would say do what your gynecologist has asked you to do, depending. But I would say that it's also a time where you can, at that point in time, you don't feel like eating. A lot of people do not feel like eating. They just feel like, oh, just leave me. I just want to be rolling on the ground. But at that point in time, it's good that you take warm water. There's even a hot water bottle that you can get. You can just place it on that particular point. And if the pain is not so intense, after some time you feel relief. But if you don't feel relief, you can go to see the doctor. He'll prescribe a pain relief drug that you can use right at that particular point in time. Don't just go and say, I'm going to take one very big pain relief drug and you take 2 tablets of it without doctor's prescription. I'm insisting on that doctor's prescription because it's very important so that you don't take something that would affect you in the future. So I think that is very important. Personal hygiene is important, very important. And the food you eat, whatever you do at that particular time, the kind of food you eat at that particular time matters a lot, right? So now moving to the question on sensitizing the boys. During the International Boys Day, we went to a school where we went to create awareness on all of some of these issues, self-identity, self-worth, and talking to them about some of these issues as well. And I think, and before that day, I did like a video, talking to people about the importance of talking to boys about some of the issues that are affecting women, and not only the issues that are affecting women, the issues that also affect them, not just segregating them and leave them, because at the end of the day, we have only 2 genders, the male gender and the female gender. So we need to come together to help each other. Like our theme says, together for a period-friendly world. So the genders has to come together, so that we can achieve that period-friendly world that we want. So it's important that the boys understand some of these issues. Okay, so what happens? It's a cycle, right? Okay, this is your period. How many days, right? So what happens during the period? Do you feel pain? What happens during the period? So a proper sensitization has to be done, to educate them. So sometimes when we go for menstrual hygiene sensitization, we don't leave the boys out. We allow them to sit in the room with us when we're doing the sensitization. So we explain and we say, oh, this is what happens during the period. She's in pain and all of that. Because you go to some schools, when girls are stained, the boys see some of these things, and these girls have low self-esteem till they leave that school, because they would keep mocking on them, telling them, oh, is it not that girl that we saw blood on her skirt? Is it that girl that we saw that did not? You understand? So that stereotype, even when nobody is saying anything, the fact that you are stained, you didn't know, and everybody saw it. You're already so, and that's one thing that I think that we also need to consider during menstrual hygiene, and that's what we don't really talk about most of the time. Your emotional needs, your mental health at that particular time.
That's very important.
Yes, because we need to feed your confidence at that particular time. So, I was stained. That should not mean anything. A boy that is even by the side that understands what period is should even say, what? Let me help you. Let me give you my cardigan so you can cover up and go and change. It's period now. Okay, she will just change and she gets clean again. Can we get to that point? And I think that when we also start sensitizing the boys about those things, then each and every one of us can, cohabit or cohabit.
Yes. I think at this point, the theme for next year, I would maybe suggest one to the UN using this platform. Yeah. It should be inclusivity for all genders. I think the next theme for next year should be so, because just like you said, we need to get to that point where we are free to have this conversation with everybody and everything like that. Families are doing that. Yeah. Families are, and also as much as we sensitize, I think families too should play their part.
Yes, everybody has a role.
Yes,
everybody has a role to play. From the home to the school.
The parents should make. Both parents should make the children understand that when they are teaching the children about puberty and all that, they should make both genders. It should be a collective information. Everybody should be aware of exactly what is going on.
Talking about roles now, there's also a role for the government, and I've been talking about this even when I was talking about this somewhere, and I said that can we have budgeting for things like this, right? They call it gender responsive budgeting. where we have provisions for menstrual products that can be distributed free for girls. So it's part of the budgeting. As they're budgeting that they're going to make bridges, as they're budgeting they're going to make what
pads should be made free. So, yes, because even last year we had a discussion on this, and you know it created a lot of, I was somewhere there, and it created a lot of argument because people were angry. Their own argument was condoms are made free, but pads are not made free, and the difference was that producing it is everything, but you have to use a pad every month, and a pad for soft care, that small pack.
Yeah,
we're not talking about
800 or 700
or even 1,000. It's over it. Imagine if you don't have that. What are you going to do that month? Every month you need to spend on a pad.
And there are girls that are vulnerable, that do not have money to buy some of these things.
It is either it's made free or it is made very much affordable. And again, to a point where people can afford it.
When you go to public places, can we you put toilet papers,
can
right?
We have it?
Can we have it in also those public? You go to the bank, can we have them in the toilets just the way we have tissue papers? Can we have them there?
Yeah.
You know, you go to where do we go to? We go to the market and there are public toilets. We go to restaurants, there are public toilets, right? Can we have pads in those places, right? Even in our homes, our visitors' toilet, can we have pads in those places? Let everybody see. Let it be normal, right? That's what we're pushing for. So can we have that?
Yes.
And that will help.
And while we are in the process of making that happen, I think on this one is just for everybody on there. I feel even individuals on their own too, as ladies, we should always carry an extra pad. For me as a person, I always have an extra pad in my bag because it's not for you. Maybe someone might need it.
Yeah, and you may just want to.
And you may just be there because it's something. For me as a person, I said, when it comes, there are certain things I cannot be stingy with. Yes, so we should have an extra in our bag. It should be there permanently. So that you can even if it's not for you, but if there's someone in need, you'll be able to help the person.
And even the men should have some in their bags.
Well,
we're staying together for a period-friendly one. The men should have some in their bags.
Yes.
You need a pad, or you know your wife is menstruating, and you keep some. And she keeps some in her bag. You keep some in your bag. So when it's time to hand, you just give some.
Well, you need some.
Take some, and then even tampons. There are other products that are out there. It's not just pads, right? There are tampons. There are menstrual cups and all of that. So there are other products that, depending on what you feel like using. So we can just keep some in your bag when somebody needs. You can have this and use.
Yes. Thank you, Lois, so much. It has been a very interesting conversation, very educating, and I'm glad we're able to touch on the main points that actually needed and awareness and sensitization. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, together for a period-friendly world, being menstrual health or menstrual hygiene, or even your period is not. It's not a thing to be ashamed of. It's not a thing to think that it's very irritating or anything. It's part of you as a person. So all of us in the society have a role to play. Let us come together to make the world friendly for our fellow individuals, most especially the female, so that during this particular time the society is conducive for them enough to be able to express themselves when they are on their periods. And I hope and pray that the government does something to make products more affordable and make the country very conducive for the women and the female folks in the society. So this is where we call it today on Dateline here on Housing TV Africa. Till I come again with another interesting topic. Thank you so much for tuning into the program. To get more updates on matters or topics like this, and even updates in the housing sector, do well to download the Housing TV mobile app on your Google Play Store, and also the free TV app on your Google Play Store and Apple Store to stay connected to this particular program and this particular station. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Many thanks for watching. I am Dorcas Chia. Bye for now.
Improvement in power generation and supply. Practical discussion, the part of it.